Richo, thanks for joining us for a pre-season update. The season's getting closer and closer. Let's start off with some good news that came out yesterday. Max Gawn will be returning as captain for the 5th season.
Great to have the big fella lead the team again. He's been an amazing leader for some time now, and obviously supported strongly by Jack Viney as our vice captain. Terrific people, obviously fantastic players, great leaders. We're lucky to have them.
And they're really setting the direction for the club as a whole this year and have been doing so for a while now.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that, and really well supported by a very experienced group that will say fall underneath them with people like Lever and Brayshaw, Petrarca, Neil Bull and Jake Lever. So they've got some great people to lean on and to work with to make sure that they're driving the standards and they're driving the culture, and they're doing a really good job.
Out on the track, we've seen some more positive things happening. Angus Brayshaw starting to move around and look like his old self out there.
Yeah, no, Gus has done a lot of work. There's been a period of time where, for obvious reasons, he hasn't been in the contact, drills just to make sure that he's comfortable and that the medical team are comfortable, and he's progressing really well. So the last week or so, he's been in everything, and he's performed strongly. He's feeling pretty comfortable. And so we'll just continue to monitor that as we go through. But right now it's looking really promising.
And then a really important part of our forward line, who we missed at times last year, Bailey Fritsch, has been looking pretty good out there too.
Yeah, no, Fritsch has done a good job. Obviously, he had some surgery on a foot in the off season, so sort of worked back into the program relatively slowly for obvious reasons, just to make sure that was right. And that as we've stepped up the load, he's responded really well. He's been in full training and matched him the last couple of weeks. So no, that's great news. He's a quality player for us.
Jake Melksham has been looking like he's making good progress on the sidelines too. He's one of those guys we're going to have to hold back a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's ahead of schedule, Melky. He's a real pro, so it doesn't surprise us. He's at a stage now where he's not too far off doing a bit of ball work. I think this week we've just backed him off a little bit, just to make sure that he continues to advance. But no, he's in a good spot, Melky. He's training well. He's helping others. He's going to look to do that this year, particularly right up until he's really ready to get into where he's positioning himself to play. He'll be looking to support his younger teammates, particularly those in front of the ball, because of his experience there and the role he plays for us in the team. And no, he's doing a really good job.
Another member of that forward line, Harrison Petty, he's been battling that Liz Frank injury that he suffered late last year.
Yeah, no, so that's going really well. He's if you're a fan, we've had quite a few fans come down and watch training. He's sort of in and out of training. That's the plan. Just to as we up the loads, just how does he respond? So this week he's going to have a bit of a down week, just to make sure that he can then bounce back strongly. But the activities and the limited match sim that he has been in, he's looked really impressive. No, we're excited by what Pets can do for us in front of the ball.
Ben Brown just went in for some minor surgery.
Yeah, he was getting a little bit sore in the knee. He had a really promising start to pre-season. We know that Brownie's got some challenges with his knees, but it's something he's had to deal with for some time now. That's almost par for the course for the big fella. We've just got to make sure that he gets, obviously he has the surgery's gone really well. He's also a pro. He'll come back in about 6 or 7 weeks. It could be a little bit earlier. It depends on how he responds. But there's no rush with Brownie. We need him for the season and the full length of the season. So, we think in 6 or 7 weeks he'll be back in and doing most of the training.
A new arrival at the club, Tom Fullerton, suffered a bit of a setback with his hamstring.
Yeah, disappointing for Tommy, disappointing for us. He's going really well. He and Max were whacking away against each other in the ruck. He obviously can also play a bit forward, and he's looked really, really promising. And it's a reasonable injury too. It's not on the minor scale. He's probably going to miss, anywhere up to 6 weeks with that injury. That'll depend on how he responds, of course. But yeah, no, he'll get around the group. He'll make sure that he focuses really strongly on whatever he needs to do in his rehab program to get right. But he's certainly won respect of his teammates, the way that he's attacked his training, whether that be the running or in the gym or out in the training track. So he's made a really good start.
A real consistent presence on the wing last year, Lockie Hunter. He's just spending a bit of time with the rehab group at the moment.
Yeah, disappointing for Locke. He's had a calf that's dagged him a little bit, and as we've upped the load, he's just struggled to be able to cope. So clearly, then you've got to back off, and that's where it's at right at the minute. He's still got a bit of time to make sure that that he gets there by round 1 or round 0 as we're calling it. But he need a little bit of luck now. But the guys are pretty confident they're on top of what the issue is, and we'll just make sure we take that one with the care that we need to.
A small hiccup for Christian Salem, just a minor hamstring there.
Yeah, just training a couple of weeks ago. One of those typical overstretch incidents where, as he was kicking the ball, he got some contact from behind. So very minor. The attitude is to take no risk. So he was back in training yesterday. So no, he'll just about be in full training from this point forward.
Cool. And then a couple of the younger guys as well, Andy Moniz Wakefield and Matt Jefferson. They've been spending time in the rehab group too.
Yeah. Both Andy and Jeffo have had a couple of weeks now in rehab for minor issues. They're not far away from joining back in. Their training, their work on the sidelines is pretty solid. There's a lot of running going on, a lot of work in the gym. They're doing a fair bit of ball work, but not with the main group, so they're really close to joining back in.
Clayton Oliver has obviously spent some time away from the main group as well. How's he tracking?
Yeah, no, Clay's, you're right. He's been away from the group. He's done a lot of training himself. He's basically been in the hands of his medical team, and that's gone really well for us. And more importantly, it's gone well for Clayton. He joins the program again today. He won't be in everything. It'll still be a week where he'll integrate back into what our training looks like. We'll have to make sure we bring him up to speed from an educational point of view. With any of the adjustments we've made to our game plan. He'll still be doing ball work, but on the side in the rehab group. And other than that, fundamentally, it's just great to have him back, and it's great to see him with a smile on his face and feeling better. That's the most important thing, and we're looking to support him wherever we can.
You mentioned we've had some fans down on the sidelines watching training over the pre-season. They would have seen some young guys really stepping up and some performers in that group.
Yeah, no, our young blokes have been promising, but just on the fans, it has been great to see them. It's obviously coincided with the school holidays, and there's been really good numbers down here. The engagement with our players and from our players to our fans has been great to see. Certainly, some of the young blokes that are rolling through the midfield have been impressive. Bailey Laurie's certainly upped his level of fitness and running capacity, and that's certainly transferring to training. Yeah, he couldn't be more impressive, so he'll press hard. Tajwa Woden's another one that has been impressive in a couple of roles. He's been wing, he's been inside, he's played a bit of time forward. Daniel Turner down back has been really impressive. Blake Howes is doing a little bit of both. He's playing a little bit of wing, he's playing a bit down back, and so no, they've been really good. Our first year players, whilst they're not in everything, couldn't have done much more really in terms of impressing the coaches. And Goody's message to the young blokes is it's not about how old you are, it's about the way you perform and are you fitting in and do you understand what we're doing. So there's a real potential for our fans to see some of those young blokes.
You mentioned that pre-season series. We've got about under a month now to the opening round. What does the schedule look like between now and then? Yeah,
well, basically we start to head towards performance from a training perspective. Most of the education stuff is done. It'll be now wargaming it, if you like. There's always a challenge. It's always hard to wargame it against a team that also knows it. That's that's depending on how we pick the terms, of course. But it's just much more about match sim and serious minutes in terms of competitive training. We start to go away from the running to running within the activities. We start to do a lot of our scenario stuff now in terms of, righto, we're a few points up with a couple of minutes ago, we're a few points down. We're not quite maximising centre bounce. There's been a lot of work on connection inside 50. Goody was quite public at the back end of the year that was an area that we needed to address, and so there's been a lot of focus there, and that will continue, and right up until we play, including you know, those practice matches. You know, that's what we use those for to see how we're tracking against opposition. So, but the players are getting ready to play. This is that time of the year that you're used to trying to get through and get the load in and get the minutes in, and have a little bit of fingers crossed to make sure you don't get any injuries, because they're flying really in terms of their physical conditioning.
The players are ready to play, and I think the Demon fans are ready to watch. So thank you for providing an update.